To continue our discussion in the estimation of parameters, atong balikan ang timailhan nga good estimator siya. First is katong ang iyang sample statistic nga gikan sa daghan nga random samples may equal ang iyang mean dito sa true population parameter, and this was illustrated in the sampling distribution of the sample means. And second one is across the many repeated samples, ang estimates niya is dili siya kaayo-layo gikan sa true parameter value, and that will describe our second type of estimation, which is the confidence interval or the interval estimate. The first one describes the point estimate, while this second one will describe our confidence interval. Okay, so how do we find the confidence interval? So first, let us illustrate the different biases when we have our estimate. First is the negative bias. So how do we illustrate a negative bias? Okay, mag-drawing sa taog horizontal line. Okay, when you say negative bias, if this is our estimate, pero ang tinuod di ay nga mga mean, sample means is naaraday diri. No? Naaraday diri. So if you are going to draw a curve, inana iyang itsura. So that is a form of a negative bias. Kung positive bias pud ta, if na diri ang atong mean nga gi-predict or gi-estimate, yan, naaraday diri ang mga sample means. So, inani iyahang itsura sa ato ang curve. So, that will be positive bias. When we say unbiased, mo ni diri ang ato ang mean. Unya, iyahang sample mean is naa diri. So, dili kaayo layo, no? Naara gyud siya in between or close to the estimated parameters ang mga sample mean. So, this is now our unbiased. As you can see, it follows a normal curve. So, are you confident when you estimate something? And how confident are you? And this confidence can be determined by your confidence level depende sa inyong option. So, how do we determine the confidence interval for the population mean? So, when we say confidence interval, ang atong gisgutan din niya is katong interval estimate, in which it is a range of values that may contain the true population mean. Looking back to our normal curve, we have the areas under the normal curve. It is equal to 1. And remember that our z, the z values, the -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, they are also called the confidence coefficients. Or in other words, they are the standard deviation kung pila siya ka-units away from the true mean. Parehaan di ba? So when we say 99.74, the area, it's between -3 and 3. So that can be your confidence level. The area on the z can be your confidence level. So when you say 68.26% confident, that will be between -1 to 1. So you predicted or imong gitag na nga ang true mean is between ani nga mga values. Okay, so in getting the confidence interval for the population mean, we need first to determine our confidence level. So, ang pinaka-common na confidence level, although pwede ka mo gamit aning kaning mga area diri, but the most common na ginagamit is kaning 90%, 95%, and 99%. Ang pasabot ana is sa 90%, the middle area nga 90%. So, i-estimate na to ang middle 90% is something right diri dapit. So, estimate na to nga mo ni ang 90%. So, naa daw dinhi between these values dire, between these two values, makita na to ang population mean nga 90%. So, if naka-remember pa mo sa atong formula in getting the z-score using the sampling distribution of the sample means, z is equal to x minus mu all over the standard deviation over square root of n. So, ato lang na siyang transform ang formula to solve for the mu or the population mean. Okay? So, we need to find the value of z dire. So, since ang z nato 90% o 90% na dapat siya, so we are looking for the value of z dire nga side. So, by using the z table, we can determine that kanida ay siya, kung 90% ang ato ang confidence level, our z is equal to 1 plus positive minus 1.65. So, this is positive 1.65. Kani siya si negative 1.65. That is if 90%. Pero kung 95% ang ato ang confidence level, so for example, naadiri dapit no si 95%, kaning blue. So if ang imuhang gusto is 95% siya, ang iyahang z values corresponds to positive negative 1.96. If 99%, our values is positive negative 2.58. So, timan-in na ninyo para dili na mo magsigig balik-balik og tan-aw sa atong z table. Okay, if you are wondering why, nganong na siya'y z sub alpha over 2. So, I will explain to you the alpha later. So, for example, so the interval can be solved using this formula, mu minus 1.96 times the quantity of the sigma over square root of n until mu plus 1.96 times sigma over square root of n. Okay. Kung tanon ta mo, pila kaya iyang confidence level ani? Okay, by observing, no, 1.96 man iyang confidence coefficient, gitawag nato niya confidence coefficient. Looking at this illustration, makaingon ta that the confidence level is 95%. So, there is a 95% probability nga kani nga interval nag-contain siya sa mean. Sa mean pa no, kani pa tong gisgutan. But, since you are applying here the central, kung atong basihan ang central limit theorem, kaning x bar or the sample mean is equal to the population mean. So, alis da nato siya atong bayloon ang value. So, instead nga mu ang naadiri, we will change it to x bar or the sample mean. So, this will now describe, no, this will now describe that the probability that 95% of the probability that this interval contains the mu or the population mean. Libog pa kayo siya, no? So, let's proceed to our second or to our next slide. So, confidence. So, for example, we have our 95% interval. Okay, 95% interval. So, since we are using 95% interval, we have here the confidence coefficient, which is 1.96. So, somewhere na adiri si 1.96. So, it means that, okay mo na siya. We set that there is a 95 chance nga ang value or ang true mean is nabilong dara nga interval. So, muna'y pasabot nato sa 95% confidence interval. Okay. So, di ba 1 man ang total na area sa atong normal curve? And pila ang nabilin para ma 100% siya? Di ba 5% na lang, no? And that 5%, muna itong gitawag nga nato na siya nga level of significance. That's our level of significance. Kung kaning 5% is mo ni siya mga area, wait lang, mo ni ang mga area nga nahibilin diri sa mga kilid. Kani. So, 5% man ni. So, ang kada side is, so this side is 0.025. and the other side is 0.025, and that consists of the remaining 5%. If gitawag nato ang atong 95% na confidence level, ang 5% gitawag nato nga level of significance or sige ako. Okay, level of significance or kuha nato siya nga error, no? Error. Gi-assign nato na siya as error. Unsa man ning error? Because it's not all the time nga there may be mistakes sa ato mga data nga nanga-gather sa sampling and others. So naatay giset na 5% error. When we assigned 95% na confidence level, naapod tay kuan din ha nga 5% nga error. So kung mag 90% imong confidence level, na kay 10% nga possible error. Kung 99%, so na kay 1% na error. So mao ni siya nga si 1.96 o si 1.96 nihimo siyang z alpha over 2. So z alpha over 2. Kay kini si 5% or si level of significance, we denote this one as alpha. So since gi-divide man nato siya og 2, si 5%, nahimo siya 0.025 ang kada area sa kada tail, mo ni siya ang nag-represent sa atong alpha over 2. Mo na siya ang alpha over 2. So, kung tan-awon na gid nato ang formula sa ato ang confidence interval, this is how you solve it. Okay, the mu, which is the true parameter, kay mo man ni atong i-estimate ang atong population mean. The mu is less than the sample mean minus the margin of error, less than the sample mean plus the margin of error. So, kani siya ang atong gitawag nga margin of error. So, kung ato siyang i-shorten ang formula, this is just how you do it. Just remember na ang E mo ni siya Z alpha over 2 times the population nato nga standard deviation over the square root of n or the number of samples. Okay, so let's have an example. Nice one, chicken. A researcher wants to estimate the number of hours that 5-year-old children spend watching television. A sample of 50 5-year-old children was observed to have a mean viewing time of 3 hours. The population is normally distributed with a population standard deviation of 0.5 hours or 30 minutes. So, atong pangitaon, A, find the best point estimate of the population mean, and B, find the 95% confidence interval of the population mean. So, the first one can be answered easily. Nganong easily raman? Because by applying the concept of the central limit theorem, the mean of the sample means is equal to the true population mean or the population mean. So, we have the given that ang mean daw sa 50 kabuok bata nga magtanaw sila TV is 3 hours. So, we already have the answer for letter A, and that is 3 hours.